Hey everybody! If you're roughly my age, and how old am I? No, I'm 52. I forget sometimes if I'm 50 or 51, or I mean, does it really matter once you get to a certain point anyway? But anyway, I was trying to figure out where we were going to be tonight. And I'm working with these gnomes, and these gnomes, for some reason, always remind me of Smurfs. And the Smurfs, first came on when I was a kid, and I used to love them. I was just telling Alan a few minutes ago, I actually used to have a keychain collection when I was a kid. And we had this store at the mall. I think it was called Opus One. And it was like one of those novelty shops. And they always had all these, I didn't tell you this part, but they always had all of these, like all kinds of Smurf things, because I was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 or something, 8. I don't know. Anyway, they had all kinds of Smurf stuff, and I had a keychain collection. And because that was inexpensive, and that was something that my parents could, just easily say, maybe once a week or something, yeah, you can have a keychain. It was like $1 or something. So it was a very inexpensive collection to have. Anyway, I had a collection of not gnomes, of Smurf keychains. That was part of the collection. And so when I was working with these gnomes, I thought, where could I be? And I thought of gnomes, and I actually have I did a little fun something that I'll show you in a few minutes. Not gnomes, Smurfs. I keep saying.
They're not the same.
I said to Alan when we were getting started tonight, he's always got little notes in front of me there. And the note said Tuesday, because it's like to remind me what day it is, because I always forget. And it said Tuesday up there, and so I looked at him. I'm even confused as I'm saying it. I looked at him and I said, I'm like, is it Tuesday? And he's like, no, it's Thursday. So I'm like, okay, well, he changed it without me even noticing. And so I looked at him a minute ago, and I'm like, it still says Thursday. Are you going to change it? And he's looking at me like, have you lost your mind? So that's just a little sample of how things are going to go tonight. So anyway, welcome! So happy to see everybody. It's always so nice, when we're getting ready here, it's always so nice when we look over, because we do all kinds of testing. We have all these screens and stuff up, and it's really, really nice to see everybody's name pop up. And I always get so excited when everybody starts saying hello and everything, and it's a lot of fun. So hello to everybody. We've got Sandy out here, Kathy Marvel, Dixie, Beverly, Sharon, oh my gosh, so many names. It's so nice. Another Sandy, Lee, Jane, and Jen, and Maureen, and Melissa, and IBF, and Beth. And thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much it means to us that you actually spend your evenings with us a couple of times each week. It shocks me, and thank you. So anyway, without further chit-chat from me, let's get started. I'm going to switch my camera, and we're going to get going on what we've got today. Alrighty. Oh boy, everything's all crooked here. Illinois, he's got this thing about everything being straight. I don't know where he gets that from, but he's over there eating a Twix. I'm gluten-free, and he's eating a Twix. That's just mean. Isn't your husband supposed to support you with things? I don't know, just saying. Okay, so tonight we're working with the sweet little gnomes. Gnomes are so popular these days, and I just think these are just so, so darling. Look at these sweet little guys. I think I've already done a live with them, but I couldn't resist. I had to play with them again, and I just think they're the sweetest. Look at the action in there. And we show you on the back, kind of an example of how you can color them up. I think he's my favorite. He's my favorite, and I have not used him yet. What am I thinking? All right, there might be a card number 3. So we're going to work with the Carefree Gnomes, the stamps, and here are the coordinating dies. And of course, on the back, we show you which die goes with which stamp to make it easy for you. Excuse me. Then I also pulled this. I'll tell you, these are all part of our summer collection, and this is the one stamp set that I could not wait to release. I couldn't wait because I love scene building, and I wanted something where I can create my own trees. I could do all kinds of stuff with them. So I thought that I would tackle a fun idea that I had with this and show you kind of a different way that you could use it. So anyway, we're going to use the Build a Tree and images on the back as well as the dies, and again we show you which die goes with which stamp. These, by the way, before I forget, the gnomes are going to be the giveaway for tonight. The gnome stamps and the coordinating dies. We do a giveaway for those of you that are joining us the first time. We do a giveaway every single live, and all you have to do is leave a comment and then you get in the running. And then my trusty hubby Alan is going to pick a winner when we get to the end of the live, and we'll get these shipped out to you. So we've got the gnomes, we've got the Build a Tree, and then as it always goes, as I start creating the idea for the card and I start doing some of the prep, I pick a couple of other things. And so I reached for two of these are like, milk and bread and butter for me. These are staples that I craft with a lot. So my rainy day stencil, we're going to play with our scene building stencil tonight. And here's the back of it so you can see the elements that are on there. So I'll go through that with you in a moment. And then my scallop rectangle, which again is a staple. I use this constantly. I absolutely love it. Let me show you what's on the back, or the sizes of all the different shapes that are in here. So let's get started. Per usual, I did some prep. I was actually prepping this up until 6 o'clock. I was in a little bit of a panic. I thought, I am not going to be ready. But I stamped a whole bunch of things. Oh, and here's my little surprise. They're Smurfs.
See, to me,
I thought they were so cute.
it looks like he's spinning around like
Yes. No, she's on his back, piggyback, and he's just he's running with her. She must be very, very light. I don't think you could do that with me. Sure. Okay, so anyway, I did not make them all Smurfs. I was coloring, and I just grabbed one and I thought I'm gonna make them a Smurf. So we'll put them right here, right there, so everybody can always see them. Okay, so I stamped a whole bunch of things. I stamped 3 trees, and you can see I cut a couple of them apart, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you today, was how you could just kind of, manipulate them around and make them what you want them to be. And so I stamped some of these gnomes here, got them all colored up, and, what are these? Some of the little nuts here, and just a ton of leaves, and a couple of apples. And, this is all, they're from the different sets. All of these little pieces here, like the apple and the, what is that? That's an acorn. And all the leaves, those are all part of the Build a Tree. So, and then of course the gnomes are from the gnome set. So let's move those out of the way. And let me move some of this stuff. I have too much stuff going on here. I'm going to show you how I created this because it was really simple to do. And for anybody who is not familiar with this stencil, I'm going to take you through it. But I really like this. Let me show you. The fun thing is I kind of texturized the grass a bit. And I only did it with this stencil because it's so easy and so fun to do. So this stencil, let me move this over. It's easier to see when I don't have white behind it. Our scene building stencils have several elements on them. We utilize the edges, and we create these so that you technically don't need to have any other stencils in order to create a complete background. So we have all the elements here. So we have the kind of the billowing clouds up at the top. These clouds are a little more solid in their nature. And then we have rain droplets here, and some of them are a little bit bigger and then they get really small. And then we have the grass at the bottom. So you could build a really, really great scene with one stencil, which is really great. So you only have to purchase the one. And, you know, instead of maybe 3 or 4, I mean, technically you would have to purchase, what, 4 stencils in order to achieve what this one stencil does. And so we try and make it really easy, and we try and make it feasible for everybody to be able to do the crafting that we like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to show you quickly how I did this background, and I grabbed 2 of my hybrid inks. I grabbed my favorite Marina Madness, which is what I love to use for water and for clouds. This is what I always grab for clouds. Hybrid inks, if you're not familiar with them, this is a combination pigment, pigment and dye ink, and you're going to be able to use this for just about any crafting application. You can do stenciling, you can do solid stamping, you can use your watercolor paints if you have stamped images with this. You can use your alcohol markers or your pencils, or you can stamp on porous surfaces and glossy surfaces and fabrics and all that good stuff. It is your go-to grab this ink. So I've got my little scrap piece of paper underneath. I'm going to start with the clouds at the top. Let me move the stuff over because I always end up making a mess. Let me get this put over here. So I've got my Marina Madness. You can tape this down if you want, but I'm not going to bother. And a great thing about your stencils too, you can use this side or you can use this side. It doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of my Marina Madness. And you know what? What?
Marina Madness.
My Marina Madness, is that what you're saying to me? I almost forgot. I want to tape off or mask a couple of these clouds here because sometimes I get a little bit crazy with my blending, and I don't want to get ink where I don't want to get ink. So I taped off or masked those clouds there. So I still have my ink on here, and I'm going to come in very gently. I'm leaving white up there at the top. I'm going to do this one a little bit heavier than I did the first one, just because I'm not sure how well you can see. You know what, let me take the brightness down a little bit. That might help. There we go. And then I'm going to slide this down, and I'm going to slide it over a little bit, just so it's a bit offset. That way it's not the identical pattern as above. Very simple. Oh, and I should also mention my blending paper. Whenever I'm blending inks, this is what I'm using. Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. It is by far, in my opinion, the best paper for blending, whether you're using our inks or other inks. It's just fantastic. So here we go. And I am going to do one more, and I'm going to make it a little bit softer, a little bit lighter, just a tiny bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just wipe that up off of there so I don't get it on anything, because I do that. All right, so the next color is Evergreen. This is my favorite and my go-to color for grass. Now, if you look at this stencil, it goes straight across. So that's how I'm going to start. I'm going to start straight across. I'm not pushing really hard. And I'm going to take this color all over the entire bottom. But again, I'm not pushing really hard. I'm not even worrying about a perfect blend, but I am worrying about a couple of those little rain droplet holes there. So I just put a little piece of tape over it. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to angle this down. So this looks very flat to me, and I want to texturize this. So I'm going to angle this almost like a hill. Kathy Marvel is asking, will you be coming out with a die set for Stinkin' Amazing?
We don't have one.
Huh?
We don't have one right now. I don't think.
Isn't that the...
Skunky.
Oh, that's the skunk. I'm thinking of the whales for some reason. That's a great question. Are we out of those, or did we not have that?
I don't think we have it.
Oh, you know what? I think the issue is that we didn't have many of the stamps left. I think that was the problem. And once they're gone, they're not going to be restocked again. So the Stinkin' Amazing is the skunks. So notice how I'm doing this angle here, and it's creating a little more depth. And you just kind of move this around, just like so. And look at how fun that is. It just kind of texturizes it a bit. You know, some of the areas can be a little bit short. They don't have to connect. Come in here with this little bit right here. Isn't that fun? I just think it's really sweet. That's how easy that background is. Sharon is saying, when are you doing stenciling and alcohol color? Or when you are doing stenciling and alcohol coloring, which paper do you use, Bristol or Neenah? If I'm doing them both on the same, that is a very good question. Well, here's the thing. The one that is the most sensitive is the Copics. Okay? So if I'm going to be doing some stenciling and coloring with my alcohol markers on the same piece of paper, I will default then to the Neenah paper. Let me grab this. This is the Neenah paper. I will default to the Neenah because this is what I use for my alcohol markers. And the alcohol markers are the most sensitive to the paper. So the blending of my stenciling then becomes secondary. And typically, if I'm going to be doing both applications on the same piece of paper, the stenciling is going to be very minimal. That's a perfect example of the card. Alan, can you grab that card? It's over there. It's the one that has the plaid in the background. Nope, right underneath it, right there. No, honey, the plaid in the background. It's a slim line right there. Yep. So when you say plaid, actually grab the other one for me.
The one with the plaid background?
Yeah, give me the one, the nautical one. When I said honey, it's the one with the plaid in the background. This is the one that he went to hand me.
That's why you send me links at Christmas.
That's my husband. He may not be smart, but he sure is cute. Okay, sorry. So this is a perfect example of what Sharon was asking, because I colored the flowers here with Copic markers, which it's an alcohol marker, but then I stenciled in the background. And so this was very simple stenciling where I wasn't worrying too much about blending multiple colors together. And so I actually used the Neenah paper for this. So that answers that one, hopefully. I hope. Okay, so next up, the next thing that I did, or the next thing to do, I should say, I grabbed my scalloped rectangle, and I used the outermost die here, and I just grabbed some of my Neenah cardstock, and because it's really, really white cardstock. The Bristol paper that I use for the blending is slightly off-white. So it doesn't matter though once you start adding your color to it. So anyway, I used the Neenah and I cut my scalloped frame, the largest die there. What else do I have? I have my card base, and this is an A2 card base, which is a half sheet of letter size paper. So it's 8.5 wide or in length, by 5.5 in the height, or I don't know, what would that be? The width and height? Oy vey.
Yeah.
And then I score it at 4.25, and that gives me the A2 card base. And then I just went to my cardstock, my colored cardstock, and I grabbed a colored cardstock that works really, really nicely with the Marina Madness. And I cut this to A2, and then I trimmed 1/4 inch off of the length and the width. And so it gives me that nice little frame around it that I always like so much. That makes it then so that my die cut, I got a little piece of, there we go. My die cut then fits beautifully just like that in it. And it just frames it out so nicely. So that was kind of how I thought the base was going to look. And then I have this piece here that I just stenciled, and I trimmed this down. I think I trimmed about 1 inch off of each side, off of the length and the width. And then this was the one that I did, and it will fit beautifully right inside there. Isn't it nice? It almost looks like a framed picture. It's just so pretty. I think it's beautiful. It's a really, really great start. All right, now comes the scary part, because this is the part that I have not planned. I just created tons of stuff. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to work with my card topper. And I'm going to grab all of these little pieces here, and I'm going to start building and see how we do. So my thinking, I was testing, that's why I cut this one. So I stamped 3 of the trees. This is the tree. I didn't worry about the little branches because I wanted to do this landscape. So I'm going to be cutting these down. And I did a very quick color on these. I didn't worry so much about the blending on these because I really wanted the texture. I wanted them to look kind of, we have these really beautiful birch trees on the side of our house, and they have this beautiful texture. It's almost like all of the bark on them kind of starts peeling off. It's so beautiful. And so I love that texture, and this was just kind of my way of imitating that texture a little bit. Lisa is saying, any plans to carry solid cardstock to match your inks? That is a fantastic question. I don't have plans for that right now, but that is something that I would definitely love to do. Okay, so I'm going to start laying these out, and I'm going to see. I want one of these to have, I don't want them to all look identical on here, so I want one of these, I'm going to have the base of it, and then these two, I'm going to kind of go like this. And what I want is for it to look kind of like we're in the woods a little bit. So I'm going to start taping these down. And so I've trimmed this first one already, the top and the bottom. And I don't even care if it's perfectly straight, because, you know, when you see trees, they're not always perfectly straight, right? And so let's put this next one. I'm going to put it up a little bit higher. And I will trim these when I'm done, once I figure out where I want these to be. There we go. Gosh, I hope this works. I have this idea in my head. We'll see. What markers are best for this technique? For the tree, I used alcohol markers. The alcohol markers that I use are Copics. And I used 3 colors. Basically a really light kind of a tan. And then I grabbed a dark brown, and then I grabbed one that was in between those colors. And I'm not mentioning which colors only because I don't remember what they were, and you could use all kinds of different combinations. So there we go. So I just went ahead then and trimmed off the tops there. It looks kind of weird here, but we're going to deal with that. And hopefully it'll work out in the end. Ha! Alrighty. So next, I'm going to start playing with these leaves a bit. And I'm going to get my foam out. This is my foam. It's by Scotch. This is all I have left. I'm going to need, well, I do have a new one. Alan got me. So I have these big, I colored these up. These are just a bunch of those leaves. And I literally don't know how many I have because I was just stamping and coloring. So let me flip these over. Goodness, I can't get them. I'm going to put, let's see, I can go off the card here a little bit because I have other things underneath it. I'm thinking I'm going to lay these flat. I'm not going to put these on foam because I want my characters on foam. So put a little bit of tape, oops, a little bit of tape on that one. And this is going to help me to cover up what I've got going on at the bottom there. And I don't know if I'm going to use all of these or not. We'll see. Let's see. Who do I have here? I have him. So I'm going to put foam on my characters. Because I always like my characters to be popped up. And I'm going to have to get a sentiment in here before I go too far. So like that, and I'm going to do one more teeny tiny piece. I like all of the pieces, all of the little layers there to be supported. So we've got this little flower here. I'm just going to set these on here and see how we do. I think he's going to work here. She's got to be here, I think, because she's going in that other direction. These can be a little bit further back like they're playing. I'm thinking I'm going to work the sentiment in right here. Beverly is saying, have you ever mirror stamped using the Misty? I have not with the Misty. I do have one of those gel plates and that works, but I haven't done it with the Misty. I would like to see how to do that. For instance, the tree stamp. I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'll have to give that a shot. So let's see, I'm going to lay these out and see how we do. Uh-oh, Alan.
Sorry. Fire the guy.
Cameraman.
Cameraman.
I don't know if I'm going to put these up here or not. Not sure I like them. We'll see. I might just go like with these here, maybe. Like that. Because my idea is that I want to have this little apple hanging up here. And then maybe I can just have some little falling leaves like this. I could even have one coming down here. This is kind of what I do. This is how I go through it. I just kind of figure out what do I want to do. I like these. I think this was like a little, like, looks like a little 4-leaf clover. It's so cute. Don't know if I'm going to have a place for that, but we'll see. Maybe I stick that 4-leaf clover right there. I don't know. It's starting to look a little busy. We've also got these little acorns. I think I want to put an acorn down in here somewhere. So this is kind of the process where I start just kind of playing and seeing what's going to work. These can actually be up here a little bit. There, that works. I think that works. So I think we've got a plan. Okay, so now that I have a plan in place, I've got to get a sentiment going. And I need to kind of figure out without moving too much, I want to work my sentiment in right, oops, I'm off camera. I want to work my sentiment in right there. So, where's my stamp set? Here we go. And I love these sentiments. These are perfect because they're tiny. They're really little sentiments. They're so cute. This one says, thanks so much. From my gnome to yours, which this is the woods, right? That is their home. That kind of works. I think I might use that one. Although thanks so much is just one word, and there's a little mushroom over here, which works. Which one? Lucky to have you. There's gnome one like you. I'm going to use from my gnome to yours. That's what I'm going to do. All right. See, this is a perfect example of why I don't do the whole thing from scratch, because you guys would seriously be here for like 2 hours. That wouldn't be as much fun for you. Just watching me try and make these decisions. I don't make fast decisions on the fly when I'm crafting. So I have to have some sort of plan before I do these a bit. Okay, so, sorry about my head there. What I've done is I've laid my sentiment in place here. I'll get it all straightened out once I get it on here. And I'm going to go ahead now and move my characters. Get this stuff all moved over because I don't want to make a mistake and get my ink on anything. I'm not going to worry about these down here. Those are okay for now. Well, actually, maybe I will move them. Oh, I already adhered those. So let me get this one centered. I like to put the magnet near the sentiment too. Let me see if does that look straight? I think that's straight. So I'm going to use my Raven hybrid ink. Press that down. And I'm going directly on the card with this as opposed to, let me see something. Is that lifted up kind of funny? Let me make sure I have that right. Yep, it's a capital F, that's why. All right, I thought maybe it wasn't, that I had bent the stamp a bit. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do one more. Get that off of there. There we go. So cute. I kind of over inked and I got ink on my Misty. Alrighty. I love this Raven ink. It is so black. It's so rich and dark. Okay, there we go. Let me put this away. I feel like I was in the middle of saying something and I drifted off and didn't complete a thought. Did that happen? I'm not sure.
Senior moment.
Yeah, senior moment. I'm having those apparently. Okay, so now, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start assembling this card. I'm not going to do this whole scene yet. Make sure I'm putting everything on there where I want it and hanging things off edges and having everything centered the way I want it. So make sure my card is opening in the right direction here for how I want to place these things on. I always like to know where the opening is as I start putting stuff in here. I put the blue piece, my accent piece, flat. I could put this flat, but I really want to see that depth behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on foam. I swear when I do these, I always feel like I'm like the queen of craft foam because I use so much of it. Any more questions from anybody?
Not that I've seen.
All right.
Maybe, but I haven't seen any.
If we missed a question, if Alan missed a question, please ask it again. Don't be shy. I'm happy to answer just about anything. We just try and keep it light and fun. No politics, no religion, just fun. It could be a crafting question. It could be a personal question. If I'm able to answer it, I will. Let me raise that up a tiny bit. There we go. So now you can see the depth. I always like having depth on my cards, and so you get a little bit of a shadow underneath that. And I just think it looks that much prettier. So then this piece here is going to go flat on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and secure this down. And got a little tape off the side there. And I'm going to take a moment to do this because I'm going to make sure I do it right. I won't be able to lift this up again, and if it's off center, it will drive me insane. All right, I think that's good. Isn't that pretty? Starts to come together, it gets exciting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get my characters on. I want to get my characters on before I put all the rest of the other elements on there because I want to make sure I have room for everything. I don't want to crowd this too much into the center, so I'm actually going to move him off to the side a bit. He's a little further off to the side than I had originally planned, but I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to lift him up a bit as well because I still want to see that green underneath him. Jen is saying, how long does a huge roll of foam last you? Well, that's a great question. I've been using this one roll of foam, and let me see, for those of you who don't know how large this roll is when it starts. This thing is how much is in here? One roll, 38 yards of foam tape in this. Okay, this whole thing. I've been using this one just for the lives since March 15th, when the isolation, the COVID stuff happened, and I started doing the lives pretty quickly after that. So it can certainly last a while. I mean, there's a lot in there. Look how cute this is coming together. I'm so pleased. Jen is saying, Linda is saying, do you ever take pictures as you're deciding on a layout? I don't, but it's a great idea. I'm going to move this one over a little bit so we can see them. And I'm putting it up a little bit higher so there's depth in the way that they're laid out. You can see that I don't have them all in one row, like as though they're all on the same playing field. I want the depth of the characters so you can see that they're incorporated into the scene. I didn't get to see the rest of that question, Alan.
In case you want to go back to prior layout that you...
Oh, no, I've never done that. It's not a bad idea, though. So in case you want to go back to a prior layout, have I ever taken a picture? No, because generally here's the thing. I'm not typically an indecisive person. So once I figure out where I want things, like I can eliminate things that I don't like very, very quickly. So it's easy for me. I'm actually going to add a little bit of height back here now with some foam. It's easy for me to say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then once I figure out what I do like, that's where I land and that's where I stay. So the process of elimination is very easy for me. Let's put that one there. And then, let me see if I want to put this one here. Yeah, I think I will. There we go. And then I'm going to grab one of these other smaller ones here. and just kind of finish that out a bit there. This apple I'm going to put flat because I want the apple to look like it's hanging in that tree a little bit. Like that. So cute. Let's see, now, whoops, how come I can't pick these up anymore? What's happening? You get a little bit of foam. This to me, I think, is the most fun part when you get to start layering everything together. Carol, oh, hey Carol, Carol Held, she's on our design team. She's fantastic and does some wonderful cards and videos. Did you get your hair done yet? I love you, girl. She knows what's important. I love that. I had my hair done once, and I am long overdue to have it done again. I think I'm actually going next week. I had to miss I actually had an appointment in between and I had to miss it. And I started going gray when I was 18. So this girl's in dire need of getting her hair done. That's a great question. Lisa is saying, can the card markers be stored upright? Well, I can tell you this. I am not an expert on the card markers. I store mine, I mean, I leave them in the box, and I leave them in the box and I store them. What am I doing here? All right, that's the same thing. I leave them in the box and I store them. Are they upright? How are they done?
Well, they're sideways.
No, I don't store them that way. No. Put that down.
Like that?
Yeah, I store them. Here, look, give me the thing. I think I store them upright.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so like the box here, I store mine so that, sorry about the camera here. When I open them, I can grab whichever one I want. So this is how I have them sit, and I store them like this. But I'm not an expert with them, you know, in terms of, you know, what they, you know, how they're made and stuff like that. Do I have room for another apple? I wonder if I do. Put an apple behind her? No, I'm just going to start. I don't want to start cramming things in where they don't need to be. All right, so I don't think I'm going to do any more foam because I think I've got too much. So I'm going to go ahead with this little 4-leaf clover. I think it looks like a 4-leaf clover. And I'm going to pop that up right there. Oops, it didn't stick. Right there. I think that's kind of cute. Whimsical. And let me get my smaller tape. Here we go. You get some of these other little elements here, as though they're just kind of falling. So it looks like we just have some leaves. Oops, looks like we have some leaves that are just kind of dropping. That's kind of fun. Sandra's saying, what high school did I go to? I went to Warren Mott. I am a Mott Marauder. Sandra, what's Sandra's last name?
Is this a trick question?
What is Sandra's last name? Is that Sandy? Is that Yee? Who is that?
I don't know. It's going to take me a minute.
All right, I'm going to put this down here. Look how cute that is. I'm just wondering if this is somebody who's in Michigan and knows, would know the school. Let's see. Let's put that one there. Okay, and then Maureen is saying, what is your funniest crafty mistake? Oh boy, funniest. Ooh.
For
what?
me?
For what?
The one where you were recording the video and then...
What did I do in this video?
You forgot to put the sentiment on there and you had it
He's saying I forgot to put a sentiment on something when I was recording a video, and I never forget my sentiments. I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you
I have no
remember
idea.
You were doing the video for the scrap and scrap.
He's saying, yeah, I was recording video apparently.
And you had foam on there already, and you tried to stamp it with a Misty.
Can you talk a little louder? I don't think they're hearing you. And he's saying, oh, that's right. I do remember. I was filming it, and I forgot to put my sentiment. And the problem was that I already had a lot of foam on there. Like everything was propped up on foam. Like if I had all this foam on here and all these layers, just like I do, if I went right now to try and put a sentiment on here at this point, it would be very, very bad. All right, I'm trying to find a spot to put one more little acorn. I think I'm going to drop it right up in here. I don't know. Maybe I don't need this acorn. You know what? This is where, when you're having trouble finding a place to put it,
throw that acorn away.
Maybe you don't need it. Okay. You know what? I think we're about done. I think it's done. I think it's so cute. I don't think there's any room to put anything else. I don't want to put another apple because then it's like too much. I like the one apple.
You could put an acorn up.
It's a nice little surprise. Do acorns, all right, now here's a question. Do acorns grow on trees?
Well, where else would they come from?
I don't know. Well, is it a tree? Is it a bush? What is it? Oh, it was Sandra Ferguson asked, what high school did I go to? So I went to Warren Mott. Rosie is saying, are y'all empty nesters? No, we have,
Not soon enough.
oh, Alan, stop. We have a 16-year-old. Oh, and I wanted to address something because I mentioned my grandson, Ethan. So I put that acorn up there. Boy, I hope they grow in trees. I put it up there. Okay, I mentioned my grandson last time we were together because he's in the Dominican Republic right now on a little impromptu vacation. And I'm only 52 years old, and my grandson, how old is Ethan now? Is he like 23? And so somebody asked a question about that. And he's actually Alan's grandson. Alan is a little bit older than I am, and Alan has three boys from his first marriage who are grown. Our son together is 16, and so anyway, let me switch the camera here. Hold on a minute. Hey there. Okay, so anyway, Alan has three boys from his first marriage, and I had a dog. So anyway, Ethan is Alan's oldest grandson, but I just adore this kid. He's the absolute best kid, and he is mine. He's my grandson too. So I absolutely love him. So yeah, I did not have kids when I was like, 12 or anything. So anyway, what is the other question? Judy, are the Karin markers water-based? Yes, they are. They are actually fantastic for watercoloring. So yeah, that's what I did, a watercolor class. If you go to our YouTube channel, I did I think it's a 2-hour live. If you go to our YouTube channel and search through, you'll see the watercolor class that I did with those Karin markers. And I waited for the markers to arrive because I really wanted to play with those. There's a lot of colors. They're easy to mix. They work beautifully. So I've got some little tips and tricks, and at least how I watercolor is in that video. So if you wanted to do that, then go for it. I love this card, I gotta tell you. I absolutely love this card. I'm gonna switch back to the card again because I don't think I really showed it off. Let me get the green screen off. Let me lift this up. Look how cute this turned out. I love it. So it looks like they're playing in the woods. I love the idea of taking that tree stamp, excuse me, that build a tree stamp, and cutting it down to whatever size you want it to be. So, you don't always have to use it at its full length. And I just used some of the greenery to cover up the bottom of it. And now it looks like they're in a forest, in the woods. and they're just kind of playing and hanging out and having a fun time. I love all the dimension on this card. I think it turned out really, really cute. And those clouds are really, really faint. They're really light in the background. You can still see the texture in the grass, the way that it was stenciled. I think it's super sweet. I absolutely love it. So let's get switched back again. So, oh, and Alan wanted me to mention, we actually got notification today that the car, we had to restock the car and markers because every time we get them, they sell out really fast. And we got the notification today that they have shipped, so they're on the way to us. So if your order is already in, you will not have to wait much longer. We should have those. I'm guessing we'll have them next week. And as soon as we get them, we'll ship them out, and whatever we have left over, we'll go ahead and get those. Well, actually, they're already listed because I think they're in the store on pre-order. So we've got, what sizes do we have? We have the 26, 26, 60, and 72. I can't remember if we sold out of the pre-ordered 72s though. So I'm not sure. You'll be able to see on the store. So anyway, okay. We've got to do a giveaway, and we're giving away these super, super cute gnomes. Yay! And they're so much fun. I love these, and you know, you can color them however you want. So if you want to make them, if you want to make them Smurfs, go for it. I should have used that. I should have put that in the center on the card. That would have been really, really cute. Anyway, oh, they you know what? These could actually be like little Pandora kids from the movie. What is that movie? What was that called? I can't remember what it's called, but Pandora was the land that they were in. These could be like the little babies in Pandora. So anyway, so who's the winner? Hopefully you guys all got your comments in. Looks like Alan has already chosen a winner, and I'm going to do my best to say your name. The winner is Michelle Figueroa. I'm going to spell it. Figueroa. I am so sorry if I slaughtered your name, Michelle. You are the winner. So I need you to just send us an email. Send it to customerservice@ldrscreative.com. Are you typing that in, Alan?
No.
Will you type that in so that they can grab that?
Okay. Send
us an email. I need to have your complete address so we can get these shipped out to you. Again, it's customerservice@ldrscreative.com. Yay! Congratulations! So excited. These are so much fun to play with. I think you're just going to love them. They're so easy to mix and match, and they work beautifully, you know, in terms of size. They work great with a lot of our other stamp sets too, so you can kind of mix and match with those and with anything you already have in your collection. So that's pretty cool. We're a little bit early. Do we have any more questions from anybody? Anything, Alan?
I haven't seen any.
No? No. Okay.
No, nobody wants to ask.
All right, everybody's so quiet. All right, well, I think we're done early today. I'm sorry. We will be back again next week, Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. right here. I have no idea what I'm going to be working on, but if you want to send us a message, if you have any suggestions of, you know, what you'd like to see. Well, we already had the one suggestion, and that's the mirror stamping, so maybe we'll take a look at that. I don't know, I've never done it before, so I don't know, we'll see. What?
Carol has a question.
Carol has a question.
Carol, how do you stay so young?
Carol.
The hair thing.
Carol, how do I stay so young? I get my hair colored. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I get my hair colored. That's how I stay so young. No, I don't know. I got to tell you, both my mom and my dad, I think I'm very, very lucky in terms of genetics, because both my mom and my dad, neither of them have had. My mom is no longer here, but she didn't have a single wrinkle on her face, and my dad doesn't have any wrinkles either. Come to think of it, I don't think my brother does, and my brother's 55, so I think genetically I did all right in that area. But if I didn't get my hair colored, and my hair isn't even gray, my hair is white, very, very white. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, had a thick head of white hair. And that's what I would look like if I didn't get my hair colored. But I'm not ready to go there just yet. I think it's absolutely beautiful on some people, but I'm not ready for that yet. So anyway, alrighty, I think that's it. Are we done? Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the card. I hope you maybe learned a little something, and if you already knew everything that I did, then I hope you at least had some fun, because that's really what it's all about. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of a break and some downtime, some me time. That's why we do this, really, is so that we can connect with you, and so we can just keep our heads in crafting and not have to worry about anything else for at least an hour. So, so thank you. We will be back again on Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here. So you guys have a great weekend. I appreciate you taking the time to spend it with us. Thank you.